closing your swimming pool from this to this. When you go to close your swimming pool, what you want to do is you want to balance your water and take out all this debris, vacuum it all up like you're going to swim, balance it out. If you want, you can drop the water below the skimmer. Some pools we drop below the skimmer and some of them we don't. You have to watch our other videos to see why we don't drop it below the skimmer. Now for this one here, there's no main drain. And if you wanted it below the skimmer, I'm just going to show you what to do next. If you don't have a main drain or no other way of draining it, this is a Kreepy hose, and I'll link it down below. And this is also from a Kreepy Krauly. And what we do is we stick it in like this, get all the air out, then we put it in the hole like that. Just like your vacuum hose, you want to get all the air out. And that's what it looks like there. And then you can put a vac head on the end or anything like that. You just don't want it sucking on the liner. So this is the equipment we have. We have a chlorinator, Hayward pump, Hayward sand filter, and I think it's a Ray Pack heater. So we're going to turn that off and we're going to backwash it. And once you get it low enough, you can turn the pump off. So for most in-ground swimming pools, you don't want to use this. Some people have these, but these are great for above ground pools. So the top here, most likely you'll have something like this, or you'll have something like this, where we can blow it out. So we don't have to drop the water below the skimmer. So you screw it in like this. So we still have water that's coming in, but there's no water going in this way here. So when you go to blow the water out, it looks like this. But if you have the top that looks like this, we have to drain it below the skimmer. For the equipment side, this is what you got to do. Most pumps will have 2 plugs. The Haywards have one in the front and then one on the side. You take those off. Don't forget the drain plug for the filter. If you have a gas heater, make sure before you blow any lines, make sure that's off. You don't want that on. And we got to make sure that, I know the gas is off, but make sure the heater is off. So for the pump, we're going to get the basket out. So the drain plug goes in, plugs for the pump in the basket. Hook up your blower and your hose and get ready to blow the skimmer. If you want to know how to blow the lines in a swimming pool, I'll link a video right here. So sometimes you're going to have to turn the pump off like this, let the water settle in the pipe. Depends on how far the pump is to the pool. So you turn it off for a bit and then you turn it back on, because the water will all settle in an area and then back out. Once you get a lot of it out, you can turn off the blower. When you drop the water below the skimmer, this is how you want to do it. Before you even put the Gizzmo on, you take half the antifreeze and you pour it in first. And it will go all in the pipe. Then you screw in your Gizzmo, whatever one you have. Then you take the other half and you pour it in around it. So for this pool here, I normally just use the blowout Gizzmo. Just for this video, I showed you how to do it with the water below it. But if you have a blowout one, you don't have to lower it below the skimmer. And then you have this plug after you blow out the lines through there. And you put the empty container just in like that from the front of the skimmer, and then you put the lid back on, you're done with that. Okay, so we're done with the skimmer. Now if you have a main drain or anything like that, here we just have one line coming in from the skimmer, but you might have two. So it's the same idea. I have another video and I'll link it right here. You take the pump basket and you put it back in. All your stuff's right here. Just put it in there for now. If you have a cartridge filter, you're just going to tear it all apart, and I actually have another video on how to do that, and I'll link it right here. Take out all your jets. Now the winter plugs that we use, because we don't drop the water below the returns, none of our pools, we use these plugs called duck plugs. Now I'll link a video right at the top here, just talking about them a little bit. And what this does is it allows you to keep the water above. Doing it this way, we know it's 100% sealed. Because once we blow the lines out and we stop, if we see any air bubbles coming up, we know water's getting back in. If you drop your water below the returns and you put your plugs on, over the winter you're going to get, the water's going to rise up and you don't know it's 100% sealed. But for the sand filter, what we want to do is we want to put it to recirculate. And here we have a disconnect from the pump to the filter. On recirculate, it doesn't go through the sand. We don't want it going through the sand. We just want it going through the dial. So it goes through the dial, out here, and then through the heater. This is the reason why you got to make sure that the heater gas is off and the heater's off. If you blow the lines and that heater's on, it will turn on and it'll be smoke and it'll start burning stuff in there. It's not good. So we're going to disconnect this. We're going to hook our blower hose to it. So we got our hose hooked up. It's on recirculate and we can turn the blower on. After you've blown the lines for a while, when you think you got a lot of the water out, for a Ray Pack heater, there's going to be a plug right here and one underneath the manifold, which is right there. So as it's going, at the end of blowing the lines, take those out, let it blow some more. If you have a different type of heater, like the Haywards, sometimes they have a pressure switch in there, and you're going to have to disconnect that. That's a good sign at the end where there was no water coming out, so we blew the lines out really well. So for your plugs for your heater, make sure that goes back into the pump basket. When using duck plugs, make sure that you walk around very quickly after you turn off the blower, see if there's any bubbles. So if there's any bubbles coming up there, inside or around it, you have to redo this and re-blow it. So you can put the cap on. The dial, I just put it in between, or you can turn it to closed. Pressure gauge, we take that off. Sight glass for the backwash, take that off, and there's going to be an O-ring right there. And put those in the pump basket. Okay, make sure that your pipe is all back together. So this has a chlorinator, so you gotta open it up. So you just gotta be careful. You're gonna get a strong smell of chlorine. So there's no pucks in there, but if there's any pucks, you're gonna have to take them out. You can't leave them in there. For this pool here, what I do is I don't put any pucks in it for about, I don't know, about a week before they close. So I know there's no pucks in there. So that's a good idea. Never have pucks in there. So I just drain the water out. For this type of chlorinator anyway, I just flip it upside down, put the lid on top, and just leave it like this. The pump basket, all the stuff I don't want to lose, it's in there. Okay, close that up. That's it for that equipment.